Um, what? So you're Sam. We've been working together for about 5 years, correct?
Five. It feels like forever.
It feels like forever. Gone and come back.
Mhm.
So she's seen my leadership in two different aspects. One before having a child, and then one after having a child. If there's any kind of interesting correlation there or differences, I guess. But my first question is there anything that could be doing that I could be doing better or differently?
I think, overall, I think you're a great supervisor. And I always feel comfortable letting you know my situations or any issues that I have with my ability in work or with other people's that I have concerns with. So that's my comfort to talk to you about always. And you always have the right words to tell me, great advice. I think one part would be for your improvement is I would say a little bit of your communication, because I know how anxious you can be and you don't like confrontation. So that's the times when you come to us and you tell us, oh my goch, how do I
I don't want to do this, but I got to do it. So how do I do it?
that's when we have to tell you, you just be upfront, do it, go with your gut. But you how do you say, you debate a lot with the feeling of your gut. You're like, should I do this, should I not? And then that's when we come to you and say, just do it.
You're right. I do.
You
I
just get
second guess.
nervous, but I feel like that's a common thing for a lot of people. Like, I don't like confrontation either, and when someone has
It's
to come,
difficult. You don't know how people are going to react.
yeah, and I know you can get nervous and you're like, how do I approach this situation? But at the end of the day, you end up doing it regardless how the timing of it. Like, I know you take your time, and sometimes you're like, oh, I'm not going to do it yet, and then you further it out at times, but you end up doing it at the end. And then that's when I come up to you, or the other coworkers come up to you and say, see, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. So you always have to just trust your gut.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's hard having those conversations. Um, so it's so funny that you bring all these aspects up already because these are some of the questions that I had prepared for you. Like one of them was, how safe do you feel bringing up business or employee related issues with me?
Oh yeah, I always feel comfortable telling you anything that's going on in our work environment.
Do you
Or
feel as though that I'm fair? Because I
I
know there's been
feel,
things that have been said about me that I'm not necessarily always fair.
I feel, in fairness, I do think you're fair, but I just feel like you have, like me or other people, that you have more connections, better connections with certain people. Like, you are closer with myself and with other ones, and I feel the fairness is there, but you do have a better connection with those that you feel have a longer relationship with, or the ones that knew you longer, like myself.
Mhm.
So, but
And I
I
think that
also,
just goes with time and it's not to say that I don't try to build those connections with everybody too, because it's not always reciprocated as in some cases as of late. So but that's all right.
yeah,
All I can do is try. um my next question was, am I responsive to your ideas, requests, and or suggestions?
I think you are. I think you're always like up for any of our ideas when it comes to Kids Club, because we're such a creative group. But sometimes I myself am not creative, or I'm going to be honest, sometimes I get scared to tell you some ideas I have, because I don't want to be like looked at and be like, what the hell are those? Like I
But
can
you
be
know, it
creative,
would
like
never
I
be
can,
like
but
that.
sometimes I do. Like, sometimes I do get scared letting you know, or I have to go to someone else and be like, should I give this idea to Megan or not? And they're like, just give it to her. What's the least that she could say is no or yes? And I'm like, okay, never mind. I don't think I am. So sometimes I feel unsure, but I think I shouldn't feel unsure though.
How
But
many times have I said no?
yeah, but
All
that's,
ideas are welcome all the time, always adding.
that's funny.
um, do you think I've created a trusting and open environment to which everybody can feel at peace with, I guess?
I think you have. I think since we're such a group of girls, and it's so hard at times to be with working with only girls, I think you have done a great job to try to accommodate to all of our needs and everything. And I think when there's issues that come up, you always come to us right away and tell us, hey, this is what you guys need to do. If the situation happens again, just, you always reassure us. That's what I would say. I think you're great at reassuring to us with any situations that happen in our department. So I like your assurance a lot.
Good. I'm glad because I always feel like I need the reassurance. So I feel like I'm saying it to myself, but I say it to you guys too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's all helping everybody.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like how you reassure all of us. Like, even though there's times where you might not be happy, like if we have handled it, but you'll come together with us at the end and say, well, next time that happens, just be sure to call me or let me know. So I feel like your assurance to us is always a great way how you approach it. So
I'm glad. I'm glad you feel like I'm always coaching instead of like yelling because I don't want that to be the intention either because I'd rather you not be scared and me just be like, okay, well, next time we're going to do X, Y, and Z instead of A, B, C, like,
yeah.
so I'm glad. And then my last question for you is, are you confident in my overall effectiveness as your direct supervisor?
I am confident because I enjoy working with you.
Well, you've also had experience with a supervisor in between
Yeah.
myself because it was me and then somebody else, and then I stepped into the position again.
Yeah.
So,
I
do
think I
you
went
care
through.
to share any comparisons between the two of us?
Well, I'm just gonna be honest, I like you more as my supervisor. I like you more than my past supervisors just because I didn't have the comfort with the other ones like how I have with you. Like if something's up or if I'm not having a good day, which I always tell you if something comes up and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna come in not in the great space, but I just want to let you know. But you always encourage me to just like you always just tell me like, don't worry, like I understand. Just come in, do your job, and that's it. So
Mm-hmm.
you're always just understanding into things like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you have a better
Feel
experience.
way more comfortable with you than the past ones. So
I just figured I would ask you because you have that unique perspective as opposed to the other person I'm interviewing. They don't have that perspective because they've only worked with me. So I figured it's good to catch that, unique
mhm.
opportunity.
And I felt like I saw a difference in you when I came back because
Mhm.
now that you have a kid, I feel like there was like this mom like role model in you and I'm like, oh, like wow, like I just saw a whole different perspective in you. Like you feel I seem like you're more encouraging at work and like with the kids, like you approach them like as if they were your own kids. So
Mhm.
there was a difference there. I thought there was just so much more positivity in you now that you have your own child and stuff. But with the past supervisors, like yeah, like how I said, I didn't feel comfort. Like the environment felt way different than what it feels now. So it has changed a lot and I felt like those changes, you made them in a better way for our department.
I, I'm I'm glad you gave me that perspective because it's interesting to hear because I actually offered her that position. I'm the one who gave it to her. So to hear that it wasn't such a good fit as I thought it was going to be, like, I feel a little heartbroken, but I'm glad I could bring the morale back up at work and in our department again.
Yeah, works different because at first I was worried. I was like, should I come back? Should not? And I had other friends, other employees tell me like, just go back. It's different. Like it won't feel the same anymore. And so when I went in, it was such a huge difference. Like I walked in, I'm like, wow, it doesn't feel like anger anymore. And then with, Ruben, he would tell me, you come home in a better mood now.
Yeah, and it's not like the kids'
Work.
behavior has gotten any better. It's not like
Yeah.
the kids have changed at all. I really think it was the atmosphere that
Yeah.
certain people brought to the
I
group.
think that atmosphere is always the plus. Like yeah, I come home like not in an angry mood, not frustrated. You know, we'll always have our days where we're frustrated or something because we work with kids and we work from 6 months to 12 years old. So it's like all we'll get frustrated. We have our days, but I don't feel like I come home angry anymore. And people notice that, like my family notice it. So I feel the moment I leave and get the new job that I had told you, like, oh, later on when I get my job, this one's going to hit me harder when I leave.
Yeah,
It's going to hit me way harder. Like I told Ruben, I'm going to cry.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna throw a party when you leave, like
Yeah,
officially,
it's going to hit me
I will
way
be so
harder.
heartbroken.
It's going to hit me way harder. But he was like, but people tell me like you guys some of you are in school and your future is different. Like you can't stay in one position your whole life. And I was like, oh.
But another interesting perspective to have is right now, like during quarantine, where we literally all got let go of our job.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are texting, snapping, using Instagram, tagging like everybody, each other all day long. We're continuously in conversation with everybody. We've created so much more than just coworkers, because
like
coworkers would have ended when we all got our like slips to go home,
And I feel like I'm more connecting to you guys, which is kind of weird because I have told Ruben this. I feel like I have this more connection with you guys than I do with my friends who I feel like I've known for years, since high school and stuff, a few of them, which I'm like, that makes me a little like, you expect people who you knew more to be there more, but if anything, you guys have been there way more, even during this time. So that made me appreciate it too, because I'm like, okay, they're not my work, they're my family. Like, they're not work people, they're my family.
The fact that you guys threw me a surprise baby shower, the fact that we are going to Jelly's bridal shower, the fact that some of us were involved in your wedding and all of us attended your wedding and are going to attend Angelica's wedding, like, you're right, we've created so much more than just like coworkers. We've created a family, and it's not a lot of places do that, and not a lot of big groups of females do that. So I'm actually extremely proud of us.
Yeah, we all get along pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
From before, not a lot of people got along, but now it's like, okay, if we're going to work together, we're going to build a better relationship with one another and get to know one another. And I felt like for you being the supervisor and trying to have everybody come together I think it was a great way for you to do it, because everybody gets along.
I've tried very hard. I'm glad we've succeeded. I'm glad we have this. I never want to let it go.
I know. Me either. But I said that when the moment comes, whenever I do leave, this time around, it was going to hit me hard. Like I said, like, I feel like I shouldn't, but I know I have to eventually. But it's gonna really hit me hard this time around when I do.
But you're not really leaving.
Not yet.
Because you're still going to be. No, well, you're not really leaving because you're going to be still invited to everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You and Ruben better show up to all of Ellie's birthday parties.
Yeah, that's what guys keep continuously telling me, that they're like, we'll always keep in contact with you, and I'm like, okay.
Always.
Yep. So yeah.
All right. I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you. Take care.
You too.
Ellie. For me. Bye.
Bye.